Hi guys, welcome back to Fairies Tutorials. In today's episode, we'll be looking at meal planning for different groups, and today we'll explore planning meals for toddlers and children. Stay tuned. Section 3, Meal Planning, Preparation, and Dining. And in today's episode, we're looking at content 6, which is entitled Meal Planning for Different Groups. And we're kicking things off with toddlers and children. Now, let's take a look at our focus points. We'll be looking at a definition for key concepts, which are child. We're going to look who is a child and who is a toddler. We'll also explore the nutrient requirements for toddlers and children, and also how we can develop positive eating habits for toddlers and children. Now, let's kick things off with our definition. So, who is a toddler? A toddler is a child between the ages of 1 and 3. Now, as it relates to a child, right? A child is between the ages of 5 and 12. Now, let us look at the nutritional requirements for toddlers and young children. And when we're speaking of their nutritional requirements, we're thinking about the different nutrients that they need and why is it that they need those particular nutrients. And in knowing the nutrients that are important to toddlers and children, then we're better able to plan a meal that is suited for their needs or for their requirements. Good? Now, at this age, growth and activity are greatly increased. Do you agree? Therefore, meals should provide plenty of the following nutrients. We have carbohydrates, protein, calcium, fluoride, and also iron, right? And these are just a few. Now, why do you thinking about the functions of these nutrients, I know that you're able to tell why toddlers and young children would need these particular nutrients, right? So they need carbohydrate for providing their bodies with energy, because at this stage they're very energetic and they explore. For the toddlers, they may be creeping, walking, the children running all about, playing, kicking balls, right? So energy is very important. Good. Now the next nutrient is protein. And protein is needed for the building and repairing of their body tissues. So they may get injured at this early stage in their life. You know that accidents are very prone to happening, right? So protein is very good for growth as well. Also very important to prevent PEM. Now, what is PEM? What does PEM stands for? Do you remember? Protein, energy, malnutrition. And we have two types. So we're trying to prevent kwashiorkor and also marasmus. Good. Now, the next nutrient is calcium. And calcium is needed for strong bones and teeth, right? So for toddlers to be able to stand up on their own, their bones have to be strong. For children to be able to run about without getting fractured, or say falling down, and by the time you think about it, there's a broken bone. So calcium is very important for the formation of bone, and also for the toddlers who are producing what? The development of teeth, right? So they will start to develop their teeth, which is very important for them to consume, right? There's also fluoride needed for strong and healthy teeth against decay, and iron needed for red blood cells, because we wouldn't want children becoming anemic, right? And that is a deficiency disease when there's a lack of iron in the body, right? Iron is also needed for other development, good blood supply, so that all the organs can work, function optimally in the body. Good. Now, vitamin C must also be present as it aids in the absorption of iron and promote healthy gums and build the immune system, which help to heal wounds. So as children grow and they leave home, they will need their immune system to be developed because what? They're being introduced to other environments, and therefore they may get sick easily. So therefore vitamin C is of utmost importance. We have vitamin D as well that must be present to aid in the absorption of calcium. So it's very important for us to understand which nutrients work together so that they can be absorbed in the body, right? So we have vitamin C and iron, vitamin D and calcium, just to name a few, right? And remember that vitamin D also helps to promote strong bones as well. Now, the diet should be well balanced. Children should be discouraged from eating between meals, especially sweets and snacks such as chips, as they may lead to poor appetite at meal times, tooth decay, and also obesity. Good. No, it is not too children and toddlers are not too young to have certain lifestyle diseases, but guess what? They depend upon they're vulnerable because they depend on their parents or other family members to supply their nutritional needs, right? And that is why it is very important for us to understand the type of nutrients they eat and the type of nutrients they need, and also what is required for them to grow and have healthy lives, so they become healthy teenagers and healthy adults, healthy seniors. Good. All right, now let us look at how we can develop positive eating habits for toddlers and young children. And I know even before we start exploring the points that I have today, I know probably most of you have some ideas of how we can develop positive eating habits for toddlers and children. All right, now let us look at these. Try not to use food to punish or reward children. Good. Now let us look why. Withholding food as a punishment may lead children to worry that they will not get enough to eat. For example, sending children to bed without any dinner may cause them to worry that they will go hungry. As a result, children may try to eat whenever they get the chance, and therefore what will happen? Because they may think that, oh, I was rude today, so I'm not going to get any dinner today. They try to overeat when they have access to food, and overeating can lead to what? You got it right. Overweight, then obesity, and then that will put their body at risk for developing other lifestyle diseases, or we may say non-communicable diseases. All right, so very important one there. Next, similarly, when foods such as sweets are used as a reward, children may assume that these foods are better or more valuable than others. Now, for example, telling children that they will get a dessert if they eat all of their vegetables send the wrong message about the vegetables. Good. So it's like they're looking at it as they're being punished, or they have to get a reward for eating it. Good. And that is developing a negative eating behavior as it relates to this concept. All right. Now, encourage your children to drink more water. Overconsumption of sweetened drinks and sodas may be linked to increased rates of obesity in children. And remember, when we speak of obesity, once the child is obese, then it opens the door for many more risk of developing other lifestyle diseases. Discourage eating meals or snacks while watching TV, or we may say even while watching the tablet or computer or playing games. Why this is so? Try to eat only in designated areas of your home, such as the dining room or kitchen. Eating in front of the TV or any form of technological gadgets, the tablets, may make it difficult for the children to pay attention to fullness and may lead to overeating. So because they're so consumed with watching whatever on the television or their tablets, they're not realizing that their stomach is full and therefore they overeat, which can also lead to obesity again, and then opening up the doors for other diseases. Good. Now, involve children in food shopping and preparing meals. These activities will give hints about children's food preferences and opportunity to teach children about nutrition and provide kids with a feeling of accomplishment, right? In addition, children may be more willing to eat and try foods that they helped to prepare or foods that they went out and purchased. Good? All right. Next, eat meals together as a family as often as possible. Try to make mealtimes pleasant with conversation and sharing, not a time for scolding or arguing. If mealtimes are unpleasant, children may try to eat faster to leave the table as soon as possible. They then may learn to associate eating with stress. And by the time you know it, they develop an eating disorder, right? So set a good example. Show them that you're enjoying your meal as well. Now, serve colorful foods, cut and arrange into interesting shapes, and use colorful table linens. So, for example, their favorite character, we could have that on the dining table, the table linen on the dining table, or even their favorite character in their plates or their cups as well, or their spoons. Hello. Serve favorite foods with new foods. Explain the value of foods to them. Teach them little nursery rhymes and songs about the value of food so that they will enjoy while they're eating. And as you can see there on your picture, there's a nicely arranged shape right there of looks like a cat, right? Or what does it look like to you? But anyhow, it is shaped as it is interesting, right? So the child will be eager or curious and want to eat as well. Now what you're looking at now is the daily requirements for 2-year-olds and also 3-year-olds, along with the food groups and also suggested items under these food groups as well. All right, and we're kicking things off with staples. Good. All right, so we're looking at staples there. So for example, the daily amount for 2-year-olds, let me get this out of your way. So we have 3 ounces, half from whole grain sources. Good. For the vegetables and fruits, and also from dairy and legumes as well. And we have suggested servings that you can see there. So this is what we use as a guide when we're planning meals for toddlers. So the exam may tell you to plan a breakfast. It may tell you to plan a lunch, even a dinner. Good. Now, what you are suggest suitable snacks. So for snacks, we may have yogurt, we may have fruits, right? So what you can do is to think of all the nutritional requirements that we discussed and the nutrients that we discussed and plan a meal that is adequately balanced for toddler and young children. So we may have macaroni and cheese. So the macaroni would come from where? The staples group. The cheese will come from protein. Good. So from the staples group, we'll get the carbohydrates, and the cheese, we also get proteins. We get what? Calcium from the milk that we may use as well. We may also do chicken potato pie, where we could add a little vegetables, fish sticks, chicken fingers, mashed potatoes, even chicken drumstick as well for for children for them to have is also suitable. Good. And for, of course, for breakfast, for cereals, there is ready to eat cereals such as cornflakes with milk, or for the cooked cereals, and also maybe what? Cornmeal porridge, peanut porridge, banana porridge, oatmeal, creamy wheat, and I know that you can name a few. All right, so remember that quantity is also important when we're planning these meals. All right, now let us look at a sample of the food from animals group. We have 1 cup of milk or yogurt and 2 ounces of processed cheese there as suitable thing that we could have as the daily amount. Good. All right, now let's take a look at some example, as I was saying before, of the different breakfast items that we could include. So we include what? So we may have an orange or orange juice, right? So we can have cooked or ready to eat cereals, as I was naming before. It may be an egg sandwich. Snacks, maybe fruits, yogurt. For lunch, it may be just a sandwich, a hearty sandwich. And for dinner, things like macaroni and cheese, chicken potato pie, chicken tenders, baked potato wedges, carrot sticks, celery sticks, just to name a few. We have to get in those vegetables in as well. All right, now we're at our questions. Minerals, though required in small amounts, are essential for the normal functioning of the body. Explain 2 ways in which calcium is important to toddlers. So please remember, guys, when we're listing out the importance of a particular nutrient as it relates to different or special groups, we think of the nutrient function itself. And we'll also think of the stage of the individual that they ask us for. So for example, toddlers. What is happening in a toddler's body? They are growing teeth. Their bones need to become stronger. So we cannot stick to things like those, right? And we know that those are the major functions of calcium as well. Outline 3 ways of making mealtime appealing for toddlers and young children. State the main function of protein in an infant's diet. Good. Plan a lunch menu for a preschool child. Mrs. John has decided to use potatoes in a meal for her 6-month-old baby. Suggest 2 foods that can be combined with the potatoes to ensure a nutritionally adequate meal for the baby. So what we could add, guys, we may be thinking of the multi-mix principle. So right there, that potatoes would be from staples, which would have provided carbohydrates. So we now need to add a protein, which may be from food from animals group or the legumes group, as well as a vegetable, which is suitable for this toddler. So we may have chicken tenders or diced chicken along with callaloo or mixed vegetables. You're awesome. You've made it to the end of the video. Please remember to subscribe, turn on your post notification bells, leave a like, and most importantly, share with persons who you know will find this information useful. Thank you for making it Fairy's Tutorials.